Hi, I'm Ray. I'm curator of the award. What is it? Yeah, I'm Ray. I'm curator of the South Bank Meltdown this year, and that's why I'm doing the interview. I think it's my first interview this year, and yeah, it's the 60th anniversary, and I'm trying to put. I've just, I can't do it all myself. I've got a great team doing it. But I've suggested lots of people. Some ideas are too mad to actually be feasible, but I did it anyway. I'm a high achiever and I want something special this year. And I think right up until the day before it's on, I think there'll be some surprises coming in. As a child, I was taken down to what was then the Festival of Britain, and I can only remember little bits of it because it's quite small. My father took me there. I guess after post-war austerity, it was meant to represent a new Britain, In a strange way, there's a parallel with this year, and hopefully we can reflect that. Because it's about Britain, trying to cover all aspects: mad, serious, artistic, non-creative, the whole spectrum. Nick Lowe is going to perform. I'm really looking forward to seeing Nick again. I've got Terry Jones doing something, simply because he's a neighbour. Also, I think humour, with my back, it must reflect my background, I guess. There's a lot of humour in some of my music. And I think it's very English humour, the Pythons. My friends from New York, Yola Tango, are coming over because they did the John Peel. I saw the John Peel Meltdown some years ago. Sonics and the Fugs. Yeah, what about that? What's that all about? Well, the Fugs, I remember, when the Kinks first toured America, when we went back to America, it all changed in late 60s, early 70s. And the Fugs were quite outrageous for their time. It was a new American revolution in music, really, because the British invasion was over and the Americans were fighting back. And I seem to recall the Fugs were simply outrageous. And I don't think they've toured here for over 40 years. So that should be fun to see. I've got my old friend Vicky Wickham. Vicky was the producer of the show called Ready, Steady, Go. It was really it was the second phase of the early pop shows. There was Jack Good, who did Boy Meets Girl. But Vicky, it broke the Kinks. When the Kinks performed You Really Got Me on there live, it put the record to #1. It's something missing from our culture now, that kind of show. Yes, we have X Factor, but Ready, Steady, Go allowed the performers to be themselves. They weren't manufactured. And that was really the thing I remember about it. There was no coaching, there were no judges to give them, bands would go on there, bands like them, bands like the Kinks, the Who, we'd all appear on Ready, Steady, Go. And I think Vicky is working on trying to recapture that feeling, that energy. We're still working on what I'm actually going to perform, but I hope to get a choral version. I wanted to do something that rocks, because I've got a really good touring band now after my sort of collaborations record last year. I want to play a sort of hard show. I want to sort of do the whole spectrum of my music, and I might be using an orchestra and Philharmonic, I think. But that's all early days, so I'm looking forward to doing that. The ideas I had were very ambitious. I think, whenever I do things, I try everything and then settle. It's to do with budgets, austerity, but very fitting for now. But I think Jude and Jane, the whole South Bank's going to reflect the original vision I had. And I wanted it to reflect our culture through the years.